Hello, it's the 7th of October. Yeah, that's a week that I've actually been vlogging every day and then not getting the editing and the uploading done, but never mind, I'll get there. As you will know if you're watching this, because it will be there anyhow. Oh yeah, hi, I'm Louise. This is the expert introvert vloggy thingy. And today I thought I would talk about the knitting book that I got. I think I said earlier this month, this last week, that I am currently cold sheep, not buying any yarn. And that started before the end of the year. Because I was going to start it at the beginning of this year, but then I bought yarn coming up to Christmas and I thought I might as well just start now. So I did. Yeah, so I'm not buying yarn, partly to, conserve cash and stuff, but also because I've got so much yarn, so much. Yeah, I have more than enough. I am knitting from stash from now to eternity, or something like that. However, yes, I have bought a book. Now, start off with probably the most useful knitting book that I own is this, the Knitter's Handy Book of Patterns by Anne Budd, and it is incredibly useful. It's got the basic patterns for mittens, gloves, hats, scarves, although that's a bit self-explanatory, for just like a plain scarf. But anyway, it's got socks as well, and like a jumper and is that a cardigan? I don't know, and berets, and anyhow, so it's, yeah, the basic pattern for those. It tells you a bit about how to then modify it for your own use and interest. So like I've made gloves and mittens and I've put like a stitch pattern on them, or cable on my gloves, for example. And they're all set up so that you have a whole chart thing going on here, and you check what your gauge is for whatever the yarn, because it's for any weight of yarn. You just need to know what your gauge is for the yarn and needles that you have, and then you find I'm not explaining this at all well. There's a grid chart thing, and then you find so if you've got 5 stitches per inch, depending on the size you want. Yeah, it's a sort of a recipe thing, and like I said, I found it really useful for making your basic things. Have I explained this so that anybody can understand it? I don't know, but that's not where I was going with this anyway. I've lost my words again, I'm sorry. So, however, the jumper in here, and presumably if there's a cardigan or whatever. Is there a cardigan? Doesn't matter. It's Knit Flat in Pieces 1. There is also the Knitter's Handy Book of Sweater Patterns, which technically I own, but I lent it to a friend and then she moved away and she brought it back down here and left it with another friend of ours, and I haven't seen her, so who knows where it is now. But that is also I think largely knit in Knit Flat in Pieces. So there is a third book by Anne Budd, which is the new one that I've got now that we finally got there 5 minutes later. The Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters. So again, it's, you know, basic designs in multiple sizes and gauges, so you know, for the yarn that you've got, you find out what your gauge is. I know, swatching, what's that about? I don't know. And then, you know, they've got all sorts of sizes, and then you can just find your stitch count like so. So this has got all the basic patterns for the 4 different types of top-down sweaters. You've got the seamless yoke, raglan, set-in sleeve and saddle shoulder. And it has then also got 3 or 4 patterns for each style by guest designers. So there's Pam Allen, Anne Hanson, Jared Flood and Veronique Avery. Yeah, so I am very pleased to have this. Mainly, well, not mainly, but the thing I want to use it for first is I just want a plain cardigan, because the shop bought ones I've got are all getting a bit, I mean, they're fine, but it's been a few years and I could probably do with a new cardigan or several. Yeah, so I just want a plain cardigan. I thought, and I've been thinking about getting this book. Leslie very kindly offered to lend me hers, thank you Leslie, but I figured I'm going to be using it enough that I'll have my own copy. So let me just show you a few of the pages. Okay, so we've got the seamless yoke, the sizes go from 26 inch or 66 centimetre chest through to, all right, here we go. It's got, well, it divides it into child and then, well, it says women's and men's, but it's both adult sizes. So it goes through from 26 inch up to 54 inch, which is okay. I mean, could be a bit bigger, but it'll do for me anyway, I guess. Still a decent range, I think. So the seamless yoke patterns that we've got are the Feather and Fan Flare, Fibonacci rings, Fibonacci, I forget, and Quince Essential Fair Isle. But again, these are all just I mean, these are the patterns, the patterns that are designed by the guest designers. They are in specific yarn weights and so on and so forth, but really they're just kind of illustrations of what you can do. So next we've got the raglan. Oh, I've just remembered what I think I failed to say, is that all of these have got instructions for a jumper or a cardigan for each style. So the raglan patterns, we've got the weekday raglan, so it's just quite a basic raglan jumper. A twisted little raglan. You know when you say something over and over and now raglan sounds wrong? And the India print Henley. For the setting sleeve, there is golden ribs and welts. Brioche basic. And alpine tweed. That one's the one by Jared Flood. I think I said earlier that all the patterns are by the guest designers. They're not. I was wrong. I admit it. Yeah, it's just the third one of each thingy. And finally there's the saddle shoulder. It's the Cable Love Henley. Looking at that first picture of that, that doesn't really jump out at me. But looking at this shoulder thing, I really like it. It's got the retro peplum, and finally Zigs and Zags by Veronique Avery. So there we go. And towards the back you've got all the the glossary and the techniques and the various bits and bobs. Yeah, so all in all I am quite pleased that I've got this one, and I am quite certain I will be using it. Maybe not quite all the time because there's other things to do, but I am quite sure I will be using it both for basics and for any time I want to, just nearly basic, I guess, with a add my own whatever personalisation thing. Yeah, so Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters by Anne Budd. I shall look forward to making my first garment from it. And now I've rambled on about that, I think it's probably time to cease rambling. I've got tired. Matchsticks. Yeah. So I hope you're all well, and either as awake or asleep as you need or like to be. I guess you're not asleep if you're watching this. Definitely time for me to go. Take care, and I will speak to you again tomorrow. Bye.